Draxall comes alive this afternoon, this Sunday afternoon. Another wonderful afternoon for football in the Jamaica Premier League, powered by Digital. Two games on offer. And the first on the agenda, Dunbeholden against Faulkland. Both these teams with different agendas, hoping to make a mark. Dunbeholden, of course, in the top 6 at the moment. They're in 6th spot. Faulkland, they're second from bottom, and they'll be hoping to move further up the table. As I said before, just different agendas at the moment as I welcome Dwight Jeremiah inside the commentary box. I'd like to know your thoughts, your assessment on this fixture. What are you expecting this afternoon?
I'm expecting one team, especially Faulkland, to be more concerned about results than performance at this stage. I mean, 7 points on the table, trying to chase down a team above them with 14 points. That's a lot of work to do. Wins and losses to take place. A lot of things have to happen for them to get out of this relegation zone. So I know for Coach Palmer, it's about results for him. For Dunbeholden, they're in 6th position, looking to hold down that playoff spot, but they're only 3 points off 5th place Harbourview at the moment. So for them, also you feel it's about results. So scary, yes, it could be all a scrappy game, which results come at the end of it, but I do expect Dunbeholden to try and play their brand of football.
Yeah, we're used to the brand from Dunbeholden to be audacious, attractive, slick, and beautiful to watch. They haven't really been in free-flowing form this season, but they are hoping to get back to that fluid nature as we enter the business end of the season.
Yeah, they've lost their last 2 games, and you know the last one was hard against Humberland, where they conceded in the 91st minute. Shaquem Powell scoring there with that. But yeah, it's going to be important for Dunbeholden to try and get back to winning ways, because like I said, they're really just in that last playoff position, and a team below them probably on the same amount of points, I think. Yeah, so they need to get going, and a man to help them get going, the player to watch here, Peter McGregor. It would be great for him to start scoring today, Donald.
Yeah, and not a minute later, I suppose, as we take a look at the referees in charge of this one. Andre Farquharson will be the man in the middle. He'll be assisted by Nicholas Anderson and Garvin Carvalho. Daniel Parchment is the 4th official for this game.
Yeah, Donald, I feel right at home, because it's all a Trelawney affair. 4th official and the 3 officials on the game today, all from Trelawney.
You do feel right at home, I suppose. We're going to take a look at the starting line for both these teams, starting with this Dunbeholden unit. Damien Hyatt, of course, is between the sticks, and in front of him, Ricardo Thomas. Devontae Hodges is in the back line, the schoolboy for Dunbeholden. Beside him, Zakia Wilkes and O'Dane Samuels in the middle of the park. Tyrese Go, Fabian McCarthy, Malachi Douglas, and Shaquem Powell up front. Peter McGregor and Stephen Barnett. Yeah,
it's a changed lineup. When you look at it, there's no Christian in it. We haven't seen James nor Dean Andre Thomas, but yeah, certainly with the likes of Peter McGregor hoping to come, Malachi Douglas, the youngster in there, Go, lovely player. So I expect that Barnett, he's a hard worker, and on his day can really torment any defense, and he's up against a very weak defense.
Yeah, Falkland, they don't have a lot of goals in their lineup, I can tell you that. Just Enrique Gordon with the 3 goals to his name, and Neil Clark with just the 1 goal. So to Sajay Anderson, part of a back 4 alongside Val Armstrong, Kyle Anderson, and Michael McLeod in goal. Of course, David Swaby in the middle of the park, Jelani Nicholson, Deshaun Woolery, and Donovan Carey. The aforementioned number 5, Gordon on the left, Ricardo James, and Neil Clark beside him.
Well, they'll be playing the 4-2-3-1 system, and you talk about Gordon on the left. Well, today they've started him on the right. Let's see if that's where he comes out, Donald. But yeah, it's going to be really a difficult task for them. Worst defense in the league, conceding 26. David Swaby in goal will feel right at home, because he spent a lot of time at Mount Pleasant. So let's see if he can keep the sheet clean for Faulkland today.
Yeah. On paper, it may look as if this game may not have a whole lot to offer in terms of goals, especially from the Faulkland end, but I suppose with the law of averages, anything can happen. Dunbeholden will be looking at Faulkland, thinking that they are ripe for the picking, but Faulkland did come away with a point when they hosted Mount Pleasant last weekend, so they're right at home and maybe just feeling a little bit confident this afternoon
We did hear Gregory Palmer talk about that the mood and the confidence in the camp is high, beating Chapelton Maroons and then going and getting a very good point at home to Mount Pleasant. They will feel right that they're on the up with Gregory Palmer coming back for his second stint.
Opportunity here as Gow sends this across. I think he was trying to get McGregor in the thick of things. It goes the other way through Nicholson. Nicholson setting up Neil Clark. Clark sends it out wide. It's Gordon over on that far side. He's the dangerous player I was telling you about. Can go to the byline, decides to do that. Not the best cross though. He'll be hoping to get better as this game progresses.
Yeah, we'll wait to see if he continues on that right. As you said, he used to seeing him coming down the left side, Donald. But maybe Gregory Palmer sees something that maybe tells him that Enrique will be better served coming down the right.
It's Donovan Carey who's on the right-hand side at the moment. And Faulkland is running out of real estate early in the piece. It's a goal kick to Dunbeholden.
But both teams looking to start very sprightly here. So the pace of it is quite encouraging to see. And you say, Donald, so often on paper, this game looks like a dull affair. But both these two teams really need results.
Should also mention that rain is ominous here this afternoon. We're hoping that conditions will remain relatively cool, and they are. So it's nice for football, but it won't be as nice if the rains come.
No, not at all. And this surface doesn't do well, hold up well when it rains, especially down the center. So if it stays this way, it will be great.
And I would feel sorry for any team which would have to grace this field should the rains come in this first game. As Faulkland starting out sprightly here. They have a free kick in their own half. They really want to stay in this Premier League, but they have some way to go. They're about 6 points behind in terms of that charge out of the relegation zone.
Yeah, make that 7.
Yeah, and they would need Veer to slip up as well. Here's an opportunity that fizzles out in the end. It's a goal kick. Oh, no, it's a corner kick that has been signaled, in fact.
Yeah, it was just at the last minute before it went out. Came off Dunbeholden.
Getting a glimpse of Devontae Hodges there, a part of the back line for Dunbeholden. Getting a first start. Anderson, can he get this one inside? He heads to the byline, whips it across, had to be put behind, and put behind well in the end. It's Ricardo Thomas there doing some good defensive work for Dunbeholden.
It's good work from Anderson there. He's got away from his marker, showed good strength, and then a whip inside, had good pace on it. And just dealt with bad play at the near post, or just outside that near post.
They were contemplating taking it short. Now they decide to go long, and you can understand why they probably wanted to take it short. Thomas comes away with it easily. Looking for Peter McGregor. Luckily to win it back. McCarthy couldn't quite control. It goes the other way. Anderson will pick it up. Looking for options here. This is Enrique Gordon, now on the left-hand side. How long will he stay there remains to be seen. But that's his favorite position. 3 goals to his name so far.
He didn't stay too long on the right.
He didn't. Anderson now. Nicholson. That looks to have been Donovan Carey there getting a foot in. Or rather, that's Michael McLeod, the captain.
Yeah, had a poor first touch. That's why he had to dive in.
Ricardo Thomas will have his hands full. And I think it would be a good strategy for Gordon to remain on the left-hand side to keep Ricardo Thomas quiet for the most part, because he likes to advance as well. And maybe there could be an opportunity for him to have a little bit more space on the left, Enrique Gordon.
Yeah, Thomas would have to then make the decision when to go. And if he does, then Falkland in transition will probably look to get Enrique going with the space left behind by Thomas.
Well, it's now Dunbeholden still trying to settle in this game. This is Ricardo Thomas now. Cuts inside, getting by Enrique Gordon. This is a matchup that is going to be enjoyable to watch, I can tell. Gets a return ball from Gao. Was he clipped by Gordon? He managed to get back up. Thomas. And there was a kick out against him.
I think he was looking for that free kick a long time ago. The first stumble, he realized maybe there was not enough contact and it wasn't going to fool the official. Anderson on this near side. But you talk about the space that Thomas may leave behind. It's going to be interesting to see if Enrique tracks Thomas going forward.
Yep, Jermaine Thomas is in charge of this Dunbeholden unit.
Yeah, his coach of McGrath did a lot of work when McGrath went to the semi-final, had McGregor in the starting lineup.
Gao sends this one. It's a good-looking ball inside the area that's easily handled by Faulkland, although it could have been handled better, I suppose. It's a corner kick now that's been given away.
Yeah, as I was saying, you know, with McGregor, probably in the best hands to try and come back into form. Scored a lot of goals during that schoolboy football season. Well, scored in the most games. It was most a lot of 1-0 victories for McGrath at that time.
Tyrese Gao with the corner kick, and the header from McGregor wasn't best placed, and it'll go the other way. Faulkland on the charge. Neil Clark trying to get there and does. Deciding to go wide. He doesn't have a lot of support. He needs to keep it up, Clark, and that's exactly what he's doing as the cavalry comes from Faulkland. What can they do with this attack? The ball inside the area, not the best. And in the end, that was coolly handled by Ricardo Thomas.
Matching the temperatures here, or even cooler than that. Really good there from Thomas.
Can be handled, it can be argued that it was ice cold, actually. Now, Dunbeholden looking to get an opportunity here. Too much for McGregor. And McGregor with the complaint.
Yeah, leading it pretty much more to his chest or to his feet, McGregor. Always been marshaled by two defenders.
Hodges. Has he shed a little weight, Devontae Hodges?
Hard to tell. I mean, he did carry a lot. I'm not quite sure, Donald, put it that way. But still is mobile and did good work just now, anticipating where the attack was going to go and really intercepted a pass.
It's going to be interesting to see how he will transition to this level. A lot is expected of him. But it's really good to see a number of schoolboy footballers plying their trade in the National Premier League if they are not training at Newcastle overseas. Here is Dunbeholden on the charge.
Not all is that fortunate, yeah.
An opportunity, and he goes down. The referee taking a hard look. Referee Farquharson still looking, and he points for goal kick.
I'll have a look at it again, I'm pretty sure. Went down in a heap. He's still down.
Should that have been a penalty? He was late.
And it was on the line.
It was on the line.
Yeah, decisive with it. I would say a penalty once contact was made because he was on the line.
Well, at least he's being helped up with Dane Samuels.
I don't think that's the help he wanted for sure. He wanted a whistle help. And I'd have a look here. We're sure it is with the box because it was on the line.
Yeah.
Whether or not the contact was made.
All right, so this will be a better view. Well, hopefully the player doesn't block it. He does block it.
It was on the line. And I'm saying once contact was made, and that's the thing here, not quite sure. Maybe the first one would have been more decisive to see where contact was, but definitely in the box. And I based on the evidence of that, I would say Dunbeholden would be aggrieved not to have been awarded a penalty here by referee Farquharson.
Was it clear-cut? If contact was made, it would have been clear-cut.
Yes, yes, I feel.
Ball sent across looking for Gao. Probably was in a couple of minds to see what he could have done with that. There's Gregory Palmer. in and out of the Falkland setup? Back in?
Yeah, back in, and I don't know if it's a new coach bounce or a new period of a coach bounce. It wouldn't be new, but yes, their last two results, a win against Chapelton Maroons and a very good win, as I said, at home against the league leaders in Mount Pleasant. So they're not looking too bad here today. Whether the results continue to go his way is another matter. I'm not quite sure he's more concerned about performance. Against Chapelton Maroons, he probably shouldn't have won that game, but was quite happy to take 3 points.
Anderson with the throw. Carey back on this left-hand side.
Interesting to see this Dunbeholden team, how they operate. As I said, no Nicoy Christian in the team today, a player that would be pulling all the strings for them. Not in the squad either. So, you know, for second match running, and like I said, they did lose their last game against Sunderland. So maybe not the same in the middle of the park. They don't tick over the same way as with Nicoy Christian there, and very few teams would if they had him in their lineup, and he's missing because he's a quality player.
Here's Dunbeholden now. McGregor. Can he get by the defender? Got an outstretched leg in there, did Val Armstrong. Oh, that's good hustle. Quite keep it in his possession there on that occasion.
Yeah, Carey got bailed out because he was attacked from his blind side by Samuels.
McCarthy. Thomas. Ricardo Thomas. Is he following Gordon or is Gordon following him?
Well, Gordon had gone on the other side, gone back to the right side just before. So it could be, you'd work, I think based on the evidence of that last switch, I'd say Thomas is following him there. Maybe they feel Gordon doesn't track back well enough. Well, on that occasion, he did track back, but his defensive work wasn't that clean. One of the interesting thing that I've seen so early in this game is McCarthy normally makes those deep runs for Dunbeholden. That was clumsy there from the captain of Faulkland.
Yeah, McLeod was the one that was tracking Thomas on that occasion.
Yeah,
but I just find it interesting that they're switching sides, Thomas and Gordon. But it's a free kick to Dunbeholden now, all along the turf at the near post, kept alive. Opportunity, still a chance. Hodges headed over the top. That's an opportunity that he would have probably buried at the schoolboy football level. Devontae Hodges, and that would have been quite a story for him to open his account in the Jamaica Premier League.
Yeah, it was difficult for him. Was under pressure, but you know, didn't get over it. So really couldn't head it down. I think came off the top of his forehead, if not the top of his head, and so always was going to go over the bar.
Thomas tracking back, getting Hyatt involved. Hyatt with the poor clearance though. But Dunbeholden should recover through Shakeen Powell. Powell finding Barnett. Barnett knows how to cut inside, sends it across. It's with Gow. Still for Barnett now. Dunbeholden, they're knocking even louder. Thomas gives it up. Thomas goes down in pain, and a belated call. I think the free kick will go in favor of Thomas and Dunbeholden.
Yeah, it certainly will. I don't know if referee Farkas was waiting to see if there was any advantage to be played, but the ball was turned over immediately. It's explaining there that there was an infringement. Yeah, I was late. Definitely late. And that was Clark.
Yep, Strikers challenge from Neil Clark. 1 goal to his name so far.
"26 goals conceded by Falkland in the league so far, scoring only 8. But like I said, valuable clean sheets kept against Mount Pleasant in the last encounter. They did keep a clean sheet against second place Arnett Gardens. And when they beat Chapelton Maroons, they did keep a clean sheet. We see the fans out in their numbers.
Yep, most of them will come in for the second game, of course. Similar blues, Dunbeholden and Mount Pleasant, the actual home team.
I did see the mother of Krista J. Daly. I see Krista J. Daly there in the Harbour View setup with the, well, just in the middle there.
They did have a shout for a penalty here. The challenge. I don't think there's a whole lot. Probably there was a little bit of a touch there.
There was contact, yeah, which caused him to hit the right foot against the left. I've seen those given.
And obviously I've seen those not given.
So I guess in the end it's neither wrong or right. It's those touch and go moment, not clear, eh?
Here's McGregor keeping his balance. Oh, that's a lovely ball. And the shot is taken and it's in the back of the net. That's a neat finish from Stephen Barnett. He gets his 4th goal this season. It was a wonderful assist from Peter McGregor. And Dunbeholden, they're up and running here at Draxall. 1-0 over Faulkland.
Yeah, for a moment there, I felt the chance had gone because I felt Barnett should have just swiveled and shoot. But what do I know? I'm here in the commentary box. But he took a touch. Not so often you get a second touch in the penalty box. There's always a hustle and bustle here. But once McGregor threaded that one through, it was really a good pass from McGregor. Smart finish from Barnett. And I say on his day, he can terrorize any defense. That's a good finish. Swaby had no chance with that one. Well across goal. And you couldn't ask for better from the striker.
A really good finish that was from Barnett. He loved that one. He really did.
Good link up, 2 attacking players. But give McGregor a lot of credit. Was under pressure, was falling over, but still managed to thread that ball through. And once it did, McGregor still had a lot of work to do, but settled himself, had the time to take that first touch, then turn. And it was good night, sweet prince. And 1-0 for Dunbeholden.
Yeah, how will Faulkland bounce back from this? You get the impression that they were working with the 0-0 scoreline in the hope of possibly striking when the iron was hottest. But now that they are behind, maybe different tactics.
Different tactics will have to employ. I mean, the drawn result will not help Faulkland at this stage of the competition. Not even sure if they win it will help, but they give them a better chance, a better platform on which to go. So they have to keep believing. But certainly that will be a big knock to their ambitions in today's encounter.
Yep.
We were just lauding them, Donald, about the clean sheets they kept against Arnett Gardens and Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant, right.
Also Chapelton, yes, but you'd put the Mount Pleasant and the Arnett clean sheets way above that of Chapelton. But maybe they're just up for it when they're up against the big teams. But, I mean, when you're in that position, yeah, just not intentional there with the arm. But when you're fighting for relegation, every team has to be seen as a big team. Well, they're bigger than you for sure. You're the only team here certainly to say you're bigger than now is Chapelton Maroon.
Dunbeholden in 6th spot at the moment, so they're definitely in a playoff spot. So certainly the opposition is as strong as teams that they would have faced before.
Yeah, it's a top 6 team, and
Kieran decides to go all the way back to the halfway line. Yeah, they just have to be a little bit more intentional, I figure. But Dunbeholden, they are playing well.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, they grew into the game after Falkland started well.
Barnett going long, looking for a strike partner, looking to return the favor.
And I think they're playing well, Barnett and McGregor. Sometimes you see McGregor looking the lone figure up front, just as he did now. But McGregor Barnett will go deep at times to create 4-5 in the middle of the park, give Dunbeholden some numbers up. But on the other occasion, I think it was McGregor who dropped deeper to try and put that numbers up. So they're rotating in terms of which of them will drop deep and become the SS, the supporting striker.
Falkland with the majority of the possession, which is a little bit of a surprise at 54%.
Yeah, I think a lot of that came earlier in the game, and Dunbeholden now settling. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And well, I think if it continues on this trend, you'll see that starts changing in short order. Well, Coach Palmer did say this week he did a lot of defensive work. Well, that's gone up in smoke somewhat in terms of conceding in the 18th minute. But he said he did a lot in the attacking third as well. So they're going to have to try and find the right balance between defense and attack, staying compact and really breaking in transition and having runners and outlets.
Thomas finding Hodges. Hodges going wide. Powell now on this right-hand side. Odean Samuels going forward, gets the return. Samuels inside the area, goes to the byline, puts it across, own goal! A horror show for the skipper Michael McLeod and Falkland. He was really in the most awkward position, and little he could have done with that. And what he eventually did was put it across his own line and give Dunbeholden a 2-0 advantage now.
But give Samuels a lot of credit there in getting that ball across. But it was himself, really good link up there with Go. And I tell you what, the move from Dunbeholden deserved a goal. Unfortunate that it was off the boot of McLeod, but certainly the link-up play between Go and Samuels was really good. Good pace, good one-touch football. And once Samuels got that return ball and found some space to run in behind the defense, having Falkland turned around and defend with their face to their goal, little could their skipper do to keep that one out. And we talk about Dunbeholden settling. Well, they've certainly gone further ahead. And you feel Falkland, they'll have to throw caution to the wind.
Yeah, if they're going to go down, they have to go down fighting, starting with this game, I suppose. But there are still quite a few matches. When you look at it, you still want to think, okay, maybe 30 points up for grabs. And they only need eyes on Veer United.
Veer and somewhat Malines, who is on 15, Veer on 14. That's 7 and 8 points to even draw level. I mean, this is, for them, they would have to hope for Veer and Malines to stand still.
Yeah.
This is so much happening.
But if they are standing still, it doesn't make any sense either.
No, it doesn't make any sense at all. So
here's Falkland on the attack, or at least that was the intention. They've conceded, what, 28 goals now?
5 more than even the team below them, which is Chapelton Maroons. Now, mind you, Chapelton Maroons are sitting at the bottom, and they would feel like, hey, we were better than Falkland before. Yeah. We were dogged 6 points. Well, 9 they dropped because they didn't show up for a game. And how they'll be ruining that. No, they did have, they say, about 7 players, which is a minimum for them to play a game. If they had gone to that game and lost heavily, they would still be now on 9 points and probably have more hopes of getting out of the relegation zone. But yeah, that's all water under the bridge. They too are going to be up against it when they go up against. They have their game tomorrow, Chapelton Maroon.
Well, you say water under the bridge. It's looking like a flood for them, isn't it? Dangerous waters, but let's see if they can recover. Let's see if Falkland can recover in this one. They have a free kick. And it's sent inside. That's a good-looking one, you know, but it's headed wide of the mark. It was Gordon on the end of it. Your most dangerous outlet. I suggest to you that if Falkland, they don't stay up, we'll still see Enrique Gordon in the Jamaica Premier League.
Yeah, he's a quality player. He's a player that I'm pretty sure other teams will come looking for if they don't stay up. And Falkland, yes, they'll do well to keep a hold of him. But and I was just about to say, you say he's their most dangerous player. He just needs a few other players in this Falkland team to become dangerous, to become a little bit more potent, because he certainly needs help.
Where will Falkland's next goal come from?
And so often we've seen Coach Palmer use Gordon when, you know, at times he needs their players with pace coming at him. And it is Gordon over there chasing back here in a right back position. He did use him there when Chapelton Maroons in the game against them at Jamaica College, when they threw on a speedy and trickery winger. He pulled him from up front and put him at right back. Because he wanted to plug that gap. Yes, he was defending a 1 goal. On this occasion, he's 2 goals down. He would be better served to have Gordon up the park.
Well, the sun is out in all its glory.
I was hoping that it would not have come out here. I was quite comfortable with the condition, having been basking the sun yesterday at St. Elizabeth Technical at Western Champs.
Here's an opportunity. Barnett. Douglas inside to McCarthy. All the way back to Thomas. Thomas, was he tripped? He was. And the yellow card is going to be out.
And also you have to give Dunbeholden, who said, yeah, yellow card.
Neil Clark again with another striker's tackle. Going into the referee's book on this occasion.
He's better served staying at the other end of the park, I would say. But it's just about to mention the switch that we were talking about. Thomas going over to the left-hand side of defense for Dunbeholden, and coming on this side was Dean Samuels staying here. It has borne fruit for Dunbeholden. I mean, going forward, confirmation of that yellow card for Neil Clark. But Samuels was the real instigator for that own goal scored by the Falkland skipper McLeod. So maybe it was something seen by Jermaine Thomas here that there was a chance to exploit on this Falkland left side.
Here's a free kick and the header. Well, the whistle went before the header was made. Maybe there was some infringement from McGregor.
Tell you what, sometimes the referees, they do have eagle eyes, because in all that congestion, sometimes we struggle to see what happened.
Woolery. Challenge coming in hard from Zakia Wilkes.
Yeah, Wilkes just ensuring that Neil Clark didn't get on the end of that one. It's always going to be difficult when you're in a league, 14 teams, you play 13 games in the first round, and you fail to win a game and ended it with 2 points.
Ball at the top looking for Barnett.
I mean, it's nothing short of a miracle to get out of it. And I guess the new coach, Bounce, is fading somewhat with the return of the coach, Bounce. Gregory Palmer certainly has a lot to do here to save this Falkland team. But I think his immediate concern will be this game. Just a game at a time, not the whole competition to save, but to save this one will give him a platform to save the team.
Armstrong switching over to the right. Good work from James. Ball played inside. Couldn't quite grasp it. I think that was Nicholson there.
Yeah, it was, and it was Gordon Enrique who sent that one in. You'd rather him be on the end of it.
Anderson. But he can't be everywhere, can he? That's the situation.
Not at all. But right now, he's playing right back.
Here's an opportunity for Falkland. Blocked. And the header. Oh, what a magnificent save that is. That was brilliant from Damien Hyatt. Going down low to just dig that one out.
I think what helped Hyatt there was the pace. There was a lack of pace on it, but it was well placed. As we see the first shot coming in once it looped up. And yeah, that was a nice header on it. Yeah, it had a little pace to it, yes. Not much, but it wasn't quite way in the corner, but he had to get down quite smart, Hyatt. That was a good save.
Yep, Nicholson with the header there. That was really well done by Hyatt. Barnett clips it over the defender. Decided to go for himself. Douglas is offside.
Yeah, and I did say it was a matter of time for the possession to change. Dunbeholden with 53% of the possession and Falkland now 47. So we did say it wouldn't last long based on what we were seeing, and quite the case.
Gordon in a real battle with Wilkes over on the far side. Nicholson now. Anderson takes a shot with the outside of his left foot. Obviously has a lot of confidence with his left foot as opposed to trying playing that one with his right.
Yeah, Anderson, Sir Jay Anderson there, I think he was looking for it to curl back, just cutting across the ball and hoping that it would just curl back into that far post. I didn't have enough curl on it. Obviously the contact wasn't as he would have wanted. But encouraging signs still there for Falkland, having a few sights of the Dunbeholden goal. And it's a warning for Dunbeholden that this 2-goal lead, as they often say in football, so pretty much the dangerous lead, because, I mean, you feel comfortable if you're the team leading by 2-0. The opponent knows just one goal could get me back into it. That's the danger of the Mines with 2 goals. But I tell you what, as a coach, I'll always prefer having 2 goals advantages, especially at this stage in a game at 30 to 33 minutes in the game. Just have to push your team to go and get that next goal.
Let's just say it's not done and dusted with a 2-0 advantage.
Not at all.
With this thing called momentum, it can easily swing the other way, can it?
Yeah, and with the ascendancy that Dunbeholden is getting, you'd feel Jermaine Thomas will want his team to go ahead and take advantage of this dominance, because we often say it in commentary, and football can be a game of 2 halves, totally different from each other.
Ball played along the right-hand side. Malachi Douglas heading towards the byline, and that one is put into touch.
And Douglas ran the channel well. It was from inside out run, and he would have played that so well when he was playing for Clarendon College.
McCarthy wins it well. Would have done well to get by Woolery on that occasion. Fabian McCarthy, that's not quite his game though. Samuels forward, looking for the return, didn't quite reach him. Douglas with a slight touch from the head. Powell. Douglas asked to run.
I've seen a little bit too much of Douglas. But I really think the switch with Samuels on this near side, the right side for Dunbeholden, getting involved in the attacking play a lot for Dunbeholden. So when they go into attack, the 2 wing backs, they push high, and it leaves the 2 centre backs. So it really goes to two at the back, and at times even 2-4-4 when those two gets high.
I know that Enrique Gordon is their best player and probably knows how to do everything on or off the ball, but it just baffles me that he's now a part of the back four.
Yeah, I mean, it's
not cleared convincingly. Samuels gets it, heads inside. McGregor was looking for the spectacular before he fell spectacularly. Still on the turf, looking for some attention, and finally he's going to get it.
Yeah, I think trying to just hide his blushes there. I mean, certainly his first touch wasn't good enough. And once it went up in the air, it was only going to be the attempt at the spectacular. We see Samuels, again, we speak about him being involved. And yeah, that touch from McGregor, just too high. But yeah, you talk about Enrique Gordon being employed in the right back position. I mean, sometimes when players are gifted, it's their downfall, it's their weakness. When you have coaches who feel like once they have an issue, it's the player that you have to pull to plug it. But certainly, I mean, go through at the back then and release him. Or find a way for him to, just like Dunbeholden, having Samuels and Thomas getting involved in the attacking play, try and get Gordon in the attacking play for Falkland.
I think that's the intention, especially on set pieces when he's now, there he is, just heading inside the box.
But I don't think Dunbeholden is allowing him to get forward, so maybe you have to position him more on the right side then, a right attacking player.
You're right, sometimes being gifted is a downfall. Free kick for Falkland. Here's an effort that is wide of the mark.
Yeah,
it's a bad try there.
Yeah, for a moment there, I felt Hyatt was searching for the ball. There's a crowd in front of him.
Armstrong with the effort, by the way. But it's a low percentage shot, especially on surfaces that are not quite level. If it takes a bubble, it may go well wide of the mark.
Or maybe he's hoping for it to take a bubble and just fool the keeper. He's hoping for the favorable deflection off the surface.
Well, he has to make proper connection with it first, and he didn't on that occasion, so the bubble went against him.
Yeah. I was just trying to bail him out.
No, he's still behind bars. Here's
You're a tough judge, Donald.
Douglas finding Samuels.
Judge Donald. It's a good ring to it, Donald, you feel?
Well, it certainly has a dollar signs to it, that's for sure. Douglas looking for options upfield. Decides to go long. Barnett is there. Samuels with a run. Used him as a decoy, did Barnett. That's a lovely ball inside. Just too close, though, to David Swaby, who read it all the way.
Yeah, McGregor was looking to get on the end of it. So, too, was Shaquem Powell in that vicinity. But again, Samuels, really like his player, Dean Samuels, so far in this game. And that's what I like. You know, he made the run, and so often you see players make that run, the overlapping run. They don't get the ball and they become frustrated. Samuel was quite okay. He knew his run was to
give Barnett that extra space.
Yeah, it was a decoy run, and it worked well for Barnett.
Woolery.
Barnett, when he used to play straight for Tivoli Gardens, was a player that I felt didn't get a lot of goals at times, but really was a hard worker.
Yeah, especially along the wing.
Yeah.
Of course, they're a little bit older now, as Gordon looking for the give and go. It wasn't going for Faulkland on that occasion.
Yeah.
There is Stephen Barnett.
Yeah, I saw him here, this very ground, and I think, not sure who Tivoli was playing at the time. My memory evades me now. Maybe it'll come back, but he was a tormentor. It was one of the best 45 minutes I've seen him play. I think it was against Cavalier here.
Anderson. Woolery was the best ball inside. Gone off for a throw-in. Hodges was in the way, blocking that attempt of a cross.
And he's a big man, able to block those crosses. His frame.
Right place, right time.
Yeah.
About 4.5 minutes to go to the interval. Don't think a lot of time will be added for stoppages. Ricardo Thomas now. Barnett. Thomas. Going all the way back to Wilkes. O'Dane Samuels on it. He decides to go long.
Yeah, his coaching staff feeling that it was a waste from him, but I guess he was just trying to curl that one in between goalkeeper and the last line of defense and inviting his strikers to run onto it. The execution didn't quite come off.
Well, Gow on it. Floats this one.
Again, so two attempted cross into the box, one from Samuels, one from Gow, not quite coming off, but Barnett applauds the effort, saw what Gow was trying to do. Gow, a player that you are impressed with, Donald.
Yeah. Skillful, speedy.
And would be at home here too.
He would be. He's applied his trade at the Mount Pleasant Academy. You want our youngsters to play even more football, especially if they want to take this seriously.
Yeah, most definitely. The game, I always say as a coach myself, the game is the best teacher. And there we see Mount Pleasant youngsters. They'll be looking to, in the midst of it, a proud Arsenal fan. And aren't they proud these days?
Yeah, it can only last for so long. That goes behind for a goal
Sounds
kick.
like it's coming from a Man United fan.
It's an interesting league, I'll only say that. That is a very interesting league that's happening over in England.
And quite an interesting one here, where teams are trying to jostle for the playoff positions. The top six will go into a playoff. And at the moment, Dunbeholden in that final top six position. 3 behind Harbourview will be playing Mount Pleasant here later. So Harbourview, their players, we saw them earlier looking on. And they will know that if this game stays this way, then Dunbeholden will join them.
Douglas goes long, finding Barnett. The flag stays down. Barnett drags that one wide. Again, didn't get the best connection. He's looking for a corner kick. And the call not going is his way. But he was looking for his second of the game and his third against Falkland this season.
I think it was Hodges who made that pass from deep. And he made a good run. He timed his run to perfection. The flag never went up. It was Sajay Anderson who did track back and just applied enough pressure to Barnett to cause him to scoff that shot. And it looked like a lost cause, but give Anderson a lot of credit because he did chase back. And it was just enough pressure applied to Barnett. And it would have been really a mountain for Falkland to even contemplate getting back into this game from 3-0 down.
Powell plays it into McGregor. And well, it was Douglas who had it, and he tried to feed McGregor, who lost his footing.
Yeah, McGregor just a shadow of himself. He used to be, even if he's not scoring goal, a physical presence.
Yeah, he used to be imposing, right?
Yeah, but certainly not.
A lack of confidence probably can do that. Falkland, can they get one back? Anderson on it. Nicholson sends it out wide. 3 players inside the box.
Yeah, maybe on that occasion you'd want a Gordon Enrique to be that player outside, looking to get by the one defender or getting a quality cross in the box. And I'm sure Coach Palmer will really look at it, chasing the game in the second half and try and see if he can certainly get back into this one.
As we expected, just a minute of stoppages to be played. But Dunbeholden looking for a second here, and this one he's trying to chip the keeper, also chip the goal. It was also wide from Peter McGregor,
and was
who's desperate for his first goal this season.
Also out of reach of Barnett, who was making the run at the far post. So trying to get on goal, trying to pick out the striker, nothing happened in the end. That was definitely going after goal, went too much under it. But boy, he's lacking in confidence.
He is.
Yeah, and you could see frustrated with himself, but maybe just need to calm down and just play a good game, not forcing himself to get on the score sheet, just try and have a good outfield play.
He hasn't really had a bad game, you know. He has already provided the assist for his team. So, I mean, it's a pretty decent first half as it comes to an end right now. But Dunbeholden, they are pretty much large and in charge after 45 minutes. They are 2 goals up. And I tell you what, Barnett, for him, it's been easy street against this Falkland team. He did score against them in the earlier fixture this season, and he's on the score sheet again. And an own goal from Michael McLeod. Unfortunate to touch that one across the line after some good work on the right-hand side. But in the end, Falkland, they have a lot to contemplate, and they'll really need to work hard to get back into this contest, which, well, they are well behind, not only in the table, but in this fixture by 2-0.
Welcome back to Jacksall here in the Garden Parish of St. Anne, where Dunbeholden takes on Falkland FC here, and they're leading this contest by 2-0. And it was really an entertaining first half, half in which Falkland started sprightly, but in the end it was Dunbeholden who settled first, and that header going over the bar by Hodges didn't really get over it, was unable to get it downward on goal. And then came the Dunbeholden onslaught. It was McGregor falling over but threading through a lovely pass to Barnett, and once he got the time to take that first touch and settled himself, really that second touch was a shot to the far side, and David Swaby in goal had no chance. Really smart finish, a striker's finish, and a player elated to get on that score sheet. And then it was Dunbeholden again. It was Samuels on the end of it, a ball from Go to Samuels, and that ball was so good across goal that Falkland tried as they might. Their skipper McLeod was unable to keep that one out, and facing your goal always difficult to defend, but that's a peach of a ball. Falkland trying to get onto the score sheet themselves, and an attempt there that we see going wide, and this was probably their best attempt at goal, shot coming in, and then it was their number 7 player in Nicholson who brought out a smart save from Hyatt. Really a good save from Hyatt. Have to get down smartly after having standing up tall to thwart anything that was coming into the box. Lovely ball over the top to Barnett, and you felt he was going to finish again, going for that far post, but the presence of Anderson put him off, and he scuffed the shot going wide. And Dunbeholden really was the team in the ascendancy. Again, they came here. McGregor looking to chip goalkeeper Swaby, chip the goal, and to the annoyance of Barnett on the far side, a player that is struggling but will take heart from the fact that he provided the first assist in this encounter. As you look at the first half statistics, it's Dunbeholden with 6 shots on goal, same as Falkland, but they've registered 2, and those 2 are the goals that they have registered as well. Falkland just 1 shot on target, 5 fouls committed by Falkland, 4 for Dunbeholden. And we look at offside, Dunbeholden 1, and also 1 corner to Falkland's 3, and bulk of the possession is with Dunbeholden, 55%. And it's 2-0 when we look at the top of the stats. Then we are going to have some presentations here from a sponsor. It's Conserve IT. Milton Jackson representing Serve IT will be giving out goodies here to the lucky Dunbeholden fans here. Fans seeming elated here, want to run off and check what is in the bag, or maybe he knows what's in there while he's smiling so much. But it's good to see the sponsors here giving some things away to the fans who have turned out to have a good Sunday afternoon entertainment and to be surprised with some goodies. So we'll go to the break, and when we come back on the other side of the break, it will be the second half action between Falkland and Dunbeholden. Dunbeholden leading that one by 2-0.
Hello and welcome to the Jaxall Sports Complex as we're here for the first game of the doubleheader here. Dunbeholden, they're large and in charge against Faulkland at the halftime interval. They're leading by 2-0. My name is Donald Otterbuss. With me still is Dwight Jeremiah. We can report to you that Faulkland have made 3 changes. We're trying to get a hold of all of them, but obviously they're hoping to make an impact in this second half. There's the first. Hosanna Johnson, with a couple of goals to his name so far, has replaced Donovan Carey. We can also tell you that Romario Clark is on the field as well for Faulkland, but we'll inform you of all the changes in short order. But the second half is on the way here. Dunbeholden, they are in cruise control at the moment, leading by 2-0. And they'd do themselves good service to put this match beyond doubt, because Faulkland, I suspect, will be coming out with some purpose in the second half.
Most certainly, we've seen that now in the changes that they've made in this one. 3 changes at halftime. You talk about Donovan Carey, the number 21, coming out. So too is Ricardo James, number 33. And I think Neil Clark, their number 6, has come out as well. So we have Osani Johnson, Randall Thomas.
Well, here's Dunbeholden with McGregor. Allowed the ball to run across him and lost possession in the end, did McGregor. But he's also eager to get on the score sheet himself. Yeah, so Kimo Dyer is on for Ricardo James. So
yeah, so we'll see now too if there's a change in the approach from Falkland in terms of the formation, because we expect them to be more in the attack. In terms of that approach, that is a given, being down 2-0, and also the fact that they're trying to stave off relegation. So it's a situation where they have to go on the attack. What we still see, or what we've seen now though, is that we're looking at it. Enrique Gordon is still employed at the right back position. Here he is on it.
Yeah, he's most dangerous there, sir. Well, he's in a right wing position, is Gordon. Sends this one inside, and Woolery was trying to get on the end of it, couldn't. Goes back to retrieve. You're right, actually. He's still playing in the right back position, Gordon.
Coach Palmer a little bit frustrated with Sajay Anderson's effort just now. He had about 4 Falkland players in front of him and needed to have a little bit more finesse about his approach at goal rather than a wild shot from distance. So Falkland really up against it, and when you make 3 substitutions at half-time, you're really looking for those substitutions to make an impact almost instantaneously, because again the score line is 2-0. If it was 0-0, maybe you say you had a little time.
Yeah, it really is a stab of adrenaline. That's what's been done by Gregory Palmer in introducing those 3 players, hoping that it makes an immediate impact. He's not looking for something that's long-term. As you see, a yellow card has come out to one of the subs, actually, Randall Thomas, already into the referee's book.
And not the type of impact Gregory Palmer was hoping for. But, you know, I've seen before. I mean, as a coach, you know, I was playing in what is now considered Tier 2, and I've gone to a game and I'm losing 2-0, and I've made a change before halftime, trying to get them up to speed. So, I mean, and you want immediate impact. So, yeah, for sure, Coach Palmer will be looking on with eagle eyes here to see what impact these subs made and will be making, and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't be shy if he needs to sub a sub.
Johnson will have another chance, but again couldn't supply the pass. Nice touch inside, good work from Barnett. Douglas continuing the play. This is Shakeen Powell now. Powell with the dink to McGregor. Yeah, he's working hard to try and get back into this one. In terms of his form, in terms of his confidence, Peter McGregor. McGregor on it. Robbed of the ball.
Yeah, again, Donald, you would have favored McGregor in the past last season to really come out on top even with a challenge like that. A shoulder-to-shoulder challenge.
I've said it before, though, as we see that challenge coming in from Hodges.
About that miss?
That miss. Since that miss, Peter McGregor has not been the same. And it's almost scientifically proven, I think. That miss on the goal line, he has not been the same. Here's a chance of Faulkland. They're trying to get one back. Goal! Wonderful hit from the substitute who really took charge inside the box. And Rondell Thomas opens his account this season in the Jamaica Premier League. And Faulkland back in it.
Yeah, certainly back in it. And we're just talking up what the coach will want from the substitutes that he's made. That's the type of impact we're talking about. Hyatt will be disappointed because he did get a hand to it. But yeah, he was outside the post too. I'm wondering too if, if you look at that one, let's just see here from this angle.
No, it was
on target.
But he should have kept it out.
He should have kept that one out. A goalkeeper of his statue and the save that we've seen him made in that first half, Hyatt will be disappointed with that. Falkland could care less. Like I said, for them, it's about results, not necessarily performance. Hyatt can bemoan his performance all he wants. Falkland will be happy that they have half the deficit.
That's the adrenaline we were talking about. That's the impact that we were talking about for him to have in this second half. Yes, he's in the referee's book, but now he's in it twice.
He's in it twice, and not once for the right reason.
Here they come again, Faulkland. And Gow with a neat little turn. The supply line to McGregor. McGregor sends it out wide. Here's an opportunity that's lost for Dunbeholden. And we always speak about the scoreline being dangerous at 2-0. I suspect, and I suggest to you that it's even more dangerous at 2-1.
Yeah, there's no debate in that one, Donald, for sure. If 2-0 was dangerous, then 2-1 is critically dangerous.
Almost, yeah. Because now the momentum, I'd also suggest, is in favor of Faulkland.
Yeah, and they're really making a contest of it. And it's the least you can expect from a team that is battling relegation. So often, though, you look at other leagues, Donald, and you say, it's the worst teams to play at this stage of the season when they're fighting for their survival.
I once heard that necessity is the mother of invention. Right. And it's become really necessary for Faulkland now. 3 points is a must. And Dunbeholden wobbling just a bit with a 2-1 advantage, though. But still, not quite in control as they were at the end of the first.
I think what they've done, Faulkland, with Randall, is to put up physical presence.
Oh, nicely done, Powell. Back outside to Barnett. Barnett, it was a hospital pass from Barnett inside the box. Couldn't find a teammate.
Hospital pass that was on life support. But yeah, that move deserved a better delivery into the box.
Nicholson, demanded a better control there, but he tries to win it back and lost it. Gow did enough, but then he himself lost it. And now the ball over the top. Hodges does well. Barnett gets a foot in. Powell looking to start an attack. Oh, nice touch. Gow cutting inside. Very good play.
Yeah, very good play. Referee Farquharson played the advantage because Sanjay Anderson did handle the ball when Gow cut it back.
Here's McCarthy now looking for options. They'd want to get back their 2-goal cushion, Dunbeholden. It's across to Ricardo Thomas. Thomas looking for Barnett, who goes down. One back by Douglas. Here is Malachi Douglas. Gow. Barnett looking for a shot. Thinking of the shot. Decided to go with the pass. McCarthy now sends it out wide. Samuel's delivery. That's a good one. Just too far ahead of Peter McGregor, who was making the run at the near post. Thomas. Gow just running out of ideas there and real estate in the end. Nicholson being held back. Pretty obvious, the call.
I think what we've seen also from Falkland, a change in how they've approached this one formationally, because they now have a presence up front with two up front. They start with a 4-2-3-1 system. They're now looking like a 4-4-2, matching that of Dunbeholden. But the 4 is more central, and so they're looking for their width to be provided by the wing-backs, which is Gordon. Gordon is one of those wing-backs which they'll be looking now. Hopefully he'll have all the space in front of him to run into, because their middle 4 is a little bit more central, trying to crowd out Dunbeholden's dominance in the middle of the park.
Faulkland sends this one inside. Nicholson peeling away, setting up Gordon. Gordon touches it inside to the goal scorer, Thomas. Thomas was trying to force that one inside. And it's going to be a throw into Falkland still. They've had the majority of the possession in the second half so far. Gordon's delivery, not a bad one. Woolery has to go to retrieve. He allows Anderson to get there. Anderson, Sir J. Anderson. He was looking for Thomas. Was slightly away from him. And Hyatt seen that one all the way.
Yeah, so what you feel with Dunbeholden now that Faulkland has gone with those central, pretty much midfielders, a little bit more narrow across there. They've put, it's like one holding, 3 in front of, so it's a 4-1-3-2 that they look like, and so you'll have runners going beyond the 2 strikers. Dunbeholden now must decide whether or not they continue with just the pivot of McCarthy, or they have players dropping deeper to provide cover in front of that back 4. So a lot of tactical battles going on within this game here, and Coach Palmer, Gregory Palmer of Faulkland, has thrown his hand with his substitution changing system. It's left to see whether or not Dunbeholden they make that adjustment as well.
Here's Nicholson, touches it inside. It's sent out wide to Gordon. Gordon will have a little space to work with. 4 inside the box looking for a cross. Back to Nicholson. Nicholson inside! Oh, there's a touch on it. And it's gone behind for a goal kick. It was Woolery on the end of that one. Was trying to guide it goalwards. Didn't make a proper connection. And with that, an opportunity gone for Faulkland.
Yeah, we see there Gordon getting up in the play and just setting up the goal scorer to put it inside. But it was good defending at the far post from Samuels, and that's what you ask for your wing back. Just a little nudge while the player's airborne. You want to make contact, just put him off balance. And that's what Samuels did. So it was a good all-round play, attacking wise from Faulkland, but also good from Dunbeholden in terms of Samuels at the back post.
Flag raised against McGregor.
And I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's referee or assistant referee on the far side, Carvalho, on occasion raising his flag and thwarting the advances of Dunbeholden. I'm suspecting Dunbeholden and Coach Thomas would have expected an onslaught from Falkland, and he would have asked his team to dig deep and probably suggest to them that you'll suffer but try not to be hurt. But Falkland did hurt them with that goal.
Yeah, Falkland's plan B is working at the moment, to be fair.
And a game of two halves, as we mentioned, that could have been the case in the second.
Ball played inside, looking for Barnett! The flag is up against the striker, who was looking for a second of the game. Just made the run a little bit too early there.
And I felt his mistouch or miscontrol of the ball would have also gone in his favor, because Swaby was fooled by it because he was anticipating Barnett getting on the end of it, and that bounced just went over him, as we see here. Barnett trying to get onto the end of it. Yeah, it did come off his shin and onto the upright. In the end, it wouldn't have counted.
Nicholson winning that one and was challenged by Hodges.
That's where Falkland had to be better, because McCarthy, which is the protector of the back four, was out of position, and there was a little space in between back four and that holding position area. They didn't really get that vertical pass to exploit it.
Barnett asked to run, so too David Swaby, who came off his line quickly.
Yeah, give him credit, anticipated quite well, David Swaby, as we said.
Plan B coming up for Dunbeholden in short order, as here they are coming forward. Samuels, well, he's no Superman. He won't be able to get there. A lot to do. And two changes, Stephen Williams and Brian Burkett getting ready to come on for Dunbeholden. Burkett, of course, the youngster from St. George's College. Hoping to make an impact here. Faulkland will be making one more sub. Woolery is off. Ratcliffe Dawkins is on. Or Ratcliffe Dawkins, I should say. So Williams is also on for Peter McGregor, which is not really a surprise to be fair.
Not at all.
Burkett has in fact come on for Tyrese Gow, who has lost a bit of form in the second half, I'd suggest.
Yeah, and for sure, I know it pains Jermaine Thomas.
Just to confirm that Woolery came off and was replaced by Ratcliffe Dawkins.
I was saying it would pain Jermaine Thomas. It's hard to have to pull McGregor as a player he's worked with so much, but it's really, it's more so for Dunbeholden that he has to act, and McGregor really was not a presence up front.
Burkett looking for the long route. Williams, he's a hustler, is Williams. Burkett does well to win it. And not the best ball inside. Oh, but they've lost their dangerous here. Oh, almost. Oh, they're playing a game of Russian roulette at the back there, Faulkland.
I tell you what, when you're in this type of position, not only in the game, but also in the competition, there's certain times you just hack it out.
Burkett with space, sends this one inside, and the clearance made up towards the halfway line. Zakia Wilkes as Hodges for company. Hodges does well enough.
Just enough.
Wilkes again. Striding forward is Zakia Wilkes. Misplaced ball. McCarthy cleans it up.
Better.
Samuels over on that far side, trying to beat his marker. Samuels, what a ball inside! What a finish too! Oh, that was brilliant from Dunbeholden, and Barnett can't stop scoring against Faulkland.
Oh, beautiful goal there. A lovely ball, fizz inside. Again, Samuels, I spoke a lot about him in that first half. He was a part of everything bright and beautiful for Dunbeholden. And again, he was the architect. He was the artist in drawing that beautiful picture. And trust me, the ball inside was just begging for a striker's finish, a run. He just placed it on an area right there between goalkeeper and back line and just says, come on, one of my players, get on to the end of it. It was Barnett to get on to the end of it. And 2 bites at the cherry, and he got it past Swaby. But Samuels really is having a good game. And I tell you what, Barnett has 2 goals. Samuels, with his play, I mean, created a second that was put in by Faulkland. I mean, had it not been Bartlett at the end of that one, I would be saying Samuels is already a huge contender for player of the game. I tell you, he goes on and gets a goal in this one. He's right up there with Barnett. But
it really has been outstanding from Dunbeholden in the goals that they have achieved, I can tell you that. And when they hum and sizzle, they're one of the better teams in the Premier League, I can tell you that. But wonderful work from Dane Samuels over the right-hand side. And that's what we call putting it on a platter for Stephen Barnett. His 5th goal of the Jamaica Premier League campaign and his 3rd goal against this Falkland team.
I mean, and Falkland is bearing down very quickly. And they came into this game, they're almost 30 goals conceded for the season, 29. Talk about wanting to have a good platform in which to perform at a higher level. Defensively, you've got to be better.
Yeah.
And Samuels, Dane Samuels, in that duel that he came out on top, the defender had to be stronger than Samuels on that occasion. Was just too weak. And, you know, at the top levels in Europe, you know, where they talk about assessing a player's game, they look at duels. You don't want to lose those duels. And that's why we see even the biggest of strikers being asked to win their duels.
Thomas back to Burkett. McCarthy. Powell. They can breathe a little easier. Dunbeholden. Hodges with a long ball.
And with all the substitutions that have gone on, even for Dunbeholden, it's players on the park that really combine just now in Samuels and Barnett. And Falkland, we're looking at, he's going to be looking to throw his hand at it again, Coach Palmer.
Ricardo Thomas. Nice touch from Williams. Williams trying to find Barnett. Barnett, oh, almost got the way through. Almost getting his 3rd.
Yeah, it was good save in the end from Swaby, but some of the pace was taken off by the defender challenging Barnett. But yeah, he's in the mood now, sensing that he could yet get a hat-trick, could still get a hat-trick in this one. And I tell you what.
Tarita Gregory is getting ready to come on. I think he has a goal to his name, in fact, Tarita Gregory, this season. So Gregory has, in fact, come on for Jelani Nicholson. So all the cards have been shown by Faulkland.
Yeah, it's about the players on the park now. They have to now do and deliver for Falkland to try and bring them back into this one. It's really a difficult task. It's difficult because you have a Dunbeholden team who can't just go up a gear. You felt what Gregory Palmer did in terms of changing his system. But what it does, what it did too, and it's with our system, they have their strengths and weaknesses. And when you go narrow and you try and see if you can stifle Dunbeholden through the middle of the park. But this 3rd goal came from the wide area with Samuels. So you give up one area and you say, okay, the further away from goal. If there's an area I'm going to give up is the wide one. But you're going to have to defend inside.
Ricardo Thomas driving that one wide of the mark.
Yeah, you're going to have to defend inside as well. So when the ball comes in from out wide, that you've given up that space, you're still going to have to try and defend that. But you got to get pressure on it. And I think Samuels, as a good player, as he's shown in this game, you give good player time and space, they're going to deliver those balls. And Donald, that ball that Samuels put in, I would bet on you scoring too.
Well, that would be a difficult bet, I suppose, even if I had to take 3 bites at it.
It was such a good ball.
On a couple of occasions, he's had to play centre-back, Odin Samuels, but when he's on the right-hand side of the defence, he can be a real provider, and he was on that occasion. Falkland on the charge. Can they get another goal back? There's a handball there inside the box, surely. Penalty awarded to Falkland. He looked guilty, I can tell you that. He was slipping and standing inside the box, was Burkett, and a hand was on it, and there's absolutely no complaint there from the Dunbeholden players. Yeah.
Yeah, I know with the rules and the fact that it was falling, but I mean, how can he fall other than that? And he came off his boot onto his hand.
Yeah, but it stopped the ball from advancing, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
So in the penalty area, so I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
And Dunbeholden know if they were to lose the game or to give up 2 points, they did and could say they had a penalty of their own, a call that should have gone their way in that box. It seemed to be looking to take this one is Johnson.
Yep. Husana John. No, it's...
Or it's Armstrong? Armstrong? Well, yes, it would be Armstrong.
Yep, Val Armstrong is behind this one. Yet to be on the score sheet so far this season, the centre-back. But he has an opportunity from 12 yards here to get Falkland back in this contest with about 19 minutes to go. It's critical, at a critical stage of this one, and he'll need to carry that responsibility now.
And Hyatt will want to make amends of his lack of performance on letting in the first goal.
Here he comes, Falkland to get back into this one. He puts it away and does so well. Val Armstrong opening his account this season, the centre-back, from 12 yards from the penalty spot. And you can't write Falkland out of this game as yet. Back in this one, trailing just 3-2 now.
So yeah, Falkland again, life breathed into them with that spot kick. Like I was saying earlier, Malines would have felt that, not Malines rather, Dunbeholden would have felt that they should have had one in the first half. But that was a good spot kick and sending Hyatt the wrong way. And even if he'd gone the right way, you felt he would have struggled to get a hand onto that one. So it's a good penalty kick from Armstrong. Maybe, well, definitely their penalty take a good one at it as well. It's just that Falkland hasn't been getting a lot of penalties in this competition. So it would be an interesting final 18 or 17 minutes in this contest. So within one.
Within one.
But you suspect they need 3, but they'll take 1 for the moment in stages.
Well, here's Williams on it. Williams would do well not to foul him. Decides against it, but it does go behind for a goal kick to Falkland.
So we did see goal being scored by Armstrong, but also going into the book for 2 things. So I suspect for shooting his celebration.
Ball played inside. It's an opportunity here and decides to go first time with it. Terita Gregory dragged that one wide.
Yeah, an open game here playing by Dunbeholden and giving Falkland sight at goal. Certainly on edge here, and both coaches are pretty much alive in their technical area. Getting antsy here. Jermaine Thomas has seen twice his 2-goal cushions disappear in front of him. He's asking Odges, the youngster, to really come up to par at this level. Has to be mentally switched on.
Burkett with time and space floats this one inside, well over the head of Barnett. Comes all the way to Samuels. Samuels. Oh, he keeps possession and still has it. Samuels decides to go back wide. Trying to beat his mark up, doing a little bit too much, but again he keeps it alive, and he goes down inside the penalty area. Penalty to Dunbeholden. And that was also an easy call. And Gregory Palmer is now dejected. I tell you what, you can't complain much there, but again, the Achilles heel of Falkland is their defense, and Powell went down under the touch, and it was awarded the penalty by Andre Farquharson.
Yeah, Barnett now looks like he can get a hat-trick here. Again, it's created by Samuels. He did huge work. I've been calling his name all game long, singing the praises for this player. And it's tough, yes, because Barnett looks like he's on a hat-trick. And you feel Barnett on a hat-trick is going to be top and center for contamination for man of the match. But trust me, Samuels has been the creator. And Barnett, but he has to score it first.
Barnett. One goal away from his hat-trick from 12 yards. Barnett, can he convert to put this game beyond doubt for Dunbeholden? It's Barnett. Saved by David Swaby, who has kept Faulkland alive in this one. And Barnett denied a hat-trick.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I didn't want to jinx it, but I'm always not a fan of all the shenanigans before taking that penalty kick. He went left, he went right, a little shuffle, slowed himself down. And trust me, in the end, it proved me right. My thinking was that that was always going to be a case where we are going to miss, and we've seen it so often. And Barnett is besides himself. Just needed to be the conventional way, run up and just get the placement right.
Here's the corner kick, whipped inside, headed away. It's another corner. Back to Dunbeholden.
Well, he scored 2 goals. He's not been perfect because he's missed from the spot. Dunbeholden goes on to win it. Then we'll have a discussion in about 5 minutes time or 10, and that will be saying something that I think it just has to be, and we could yet see another twist in it.
Here's the corner kick for Dunbeholden, again floated inside, and the header is over the top. He was attacking that one. Barnett couldn't quite guide it goalwards, but he really likes scoring against Falkland, apparently.
Yeah, I didn't like it enough, though, to get that third one.
Yeah, it was probably too much on a platter. Although it can be argued that the easiest chance would have come with his second goal of the game.
Yeah, and he did have a chance in the first half to make it 3 as well when Anderson was bearing down and a ball over the top from, I think it was his central defender. So he should have put Dunbeholden ahead. 3 goals in that first half, and psychologically it would have been different for Falkland to come out as to opposed to 2 goals. Would have to be facing a Dunbeholden team with 3 goals up. It was Hodges that set him free, Barnett, and he didn't convert.
Again they go long. Let's put behind for a throw-in to Dunbeholden.
Yeah, it's really going to be a 3-2. Very interesting finish to this game. It's on edge. Falkland would take a point, yes, but they know a point isn't good enough for them in the overall picture.
Well, based on the fact that they're training now, it's good enough for them for this game. Can tell you that?
Yeah, for sure. And Coach Gregory Palmer is asking them to go route one.
I think, well, we'll get back to that point in just a moment as Faulkland on the charge. Dawkins. Dawkins does well. Almost got it back there on that occasion.
I've not seen Dunbeholden breaking out with the verve and vigor. The back five just looking to sit there.
Stephen Williams beating the outside track. Ball coming across and just a little bit too much for Stephen Barnett, who's probably run out of gas now.
Yeah, he looks to have pulled something there. He was just not interested in trying to spin back onto the park and try and retrieve that one.
Wilkes. Douglas. And the free kick awarded to Dunbeholden.
Yeah, I think Barnett's going to come off soon.
Yeah, he's run his race, I believe, Barnett. And he is the orchestrator of the Sportsmax app moment of the game. Courtesy, of course, of the Sportsmax app. You can download it today to keep abreast of quite a few things happening in the world of sport as we take a look at his goal here, taken well. It seems like eons ago when he placed that to the right of David Swaby. And Swaby getting a touch on it, but couldn't do a lot to deny that effort from Stephen Barnett. And he loved it. That's the Sportsmax app moment of the game, courtesy of the Sportsmax app.
Yeah, it was easily probably the finish of the game, and quite rightly so selected as the app moment. But like I said, he did get a chance to repeat that motion, and he missed. And now he's created a very frantic and edgy finish for this encounter.
So Rowan Brown is coming on to replace Stephen Barnett, and Dwayne Smith is going to make an entrance. So there's the confirmation, as I said. And the other change that's going to be made, Malachi Douglas, he's run his race as well.
He was looking to go to the other side of the park, or close to central. They are trying to delay his exit from this one, but officials wouldn't have any of it. We're talking about FIFA officials here.
Free kick to Dunbeholden. It's Williams, drove that one straight into the wall. Flag goes up, offside.
So let's see what Dunbeholden will do now in the closing stages of this one.
Williams bullies his way through. He's now inside the box. Can he finish? It's Williams. An opportunity that's taken by Dunbeholden.
Yeah, it seemed to be Rowan Brown.
Yep, what an impact he's had just seconds after coming onto the park. And surely this game is beyond doubt now. Rohan Brown opening his account this season, and it is 4-2 in favor of Dunbeholden.
Yeah, we talk about the defense of Falkland, and it has just come to bear here. Coming into this one, they would have conceded 26. That's the 30th they've conceded this season. And you just cannot get back into games when you cannot defend. And that's what happened. It's the second time, too, in this encounter that we've seen a defender being bullied or being out-muscled by the attacker. And I keep saying it all game long. In your duels as defenders, you've got to win them. You've just got to win them, especially when you know you're chasing the game. You're left two at the back. You just cannot afford to lose a duel. Your life depends on it. And that was a smart finish, though, from Brown. Swiveled and just finished like a ballerina. He was smooth in his turn, and the finish was smart.
Well, they missed the penalty. Did Dunbeholden, but they would eventually get their 2-goal advantage, the 2-goal cushion back. And to talk about the super sub, Rohan Brown, with the finish there in the end. So, 5 minutes to go, and I reckon that one Dunbeholden player will be awarded the man of the match. The question is, which one?
Yeah, certainly from the winning team, and they've done a lot, and a lot of players on the park has been good. To play on the ball too, he has done good work, having switched his position. Initially started at right back, did Thomas, but went to the left, and it bore fruit for Dunbeholden, more so where he exited from the right side, but has been good.
Oh, what a first touch from Williams. It's with Dwayne Smith. Back to Ricardo Thomas now. Thomas with a ball inside that's handled well by the back line of Faulkland. There's a hand in the face there. It's a free kick to Dunbeholden. So you're talking about O'Dane Samuels as well.
Well, certainly O'Dane Samuels and Barnett are top of the pile for me. I'm telling you, I mean, Barnett, he wasn't perfect. He did miss his penalty. The goal he scored, it was hard for him to miss. I did suggest you would score that too as well, Donald.
You did.
So yeah, the delivery in the box was what was great. But Barnett also opened the scoring with a lovely, lovely finish. But I really love Samuels in this game. He has been really a part of everything. But that own goal that was scored by Falkland was laid across the goal by Samuels as well. So yeah, Donald, for me.
Well, here's Thomas's delivery inside. And the whistle went. The offside flag going against Dwayne Smith on that occasion. Yeah, I'd like O'Dane Samuels too and what he's contributed to this game.
And I'd pick him for my man of the match as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that at all.
I mean, he's been having to do defensive work as well in the game, and not much, if any, has come from his side. Probably when the penalty was given, that cross came in from that side. But he's been good defensively and attacking-wise. And to think he didn't start on the right side, he started on the left.
And here he is on the ball, Samuels. Smith finding Ricardo Thomas through the middle. Burkett was trying to keep it alive. And there was just a late challenge there coming from Burkett. I believe he's getting his final warning from referee Faxon, the Georgian.
And he's already in the books. Well, this one looks like it's going to be another tick in the lost column for Falkland.
It's just unfortunate because in the second half they really came out to play. Well, that's some nice interplay there. That's a wonderful ball inside that's headed away by Hodges. And that one has gone to high heavens.
Yeah, so that would be their 10th loss of the season. Really is looking ominous for Falkland that the drop is not going to be avoided.
Well, here's Dunbeholden again, looking to get one more. Ball sent across and too much on it for Burkett to get on the end of it.
But I did like the effort from Faulkland. I think they showed a real good fight in this one. Coach Barmer, you felt he did as much as he could in terms of changing personnel, changing system. But it's always going to be difficult. Like I said, he came back, he had a win against Chapelton Maroons. He did get a very creditable draw in his last game against the league leaders in Mount Pleasant. But it's hard when you got those two good results, but the teams above you, they won.
Yeah. We're hearing that 3 minutes of stoppages will be played. Dunbeholden, they wouldn't mind one more. Just for the trouble Falkland they have cost them this afternoon.
I tell you what though, Donald, I think if it's gone for another 90 minutes, it probably will be still with Dunbeholden. Falkland would come back at times, I think, but the defense just doesn't seem a team that can hold up for 90 minutes. Well, they've shown it, and my concern, Donald, and I said it earlier in commentary, when it's teams high up in the table, which they showed against Arnett Gardens and Mount Pleasant, who are second and first respectively, they psych themselves up to go into it. Maybe they just play a low block and there's all hands on deck trying to defend. These games that they feel they might have a chance to get something from it and they open up, then they just can't keep a clean sheet. So that might be the reason why, because against those good teams, they buckle down and play a low block, which means they don't give themselves a chance to score.
Which is ironic because they have given up chances to concede.
Yeah. It's really tough, and I don't know, I think their color is going to be red for a long time, if not forever in this Premier League. And with this win too, let us not forget, let's not just look at the gloomy side. Dunbeholden came into this contest in 6th position, just holding down that final playoff spot. They were 3 points behind Harbourview, who will play later, which is why we've seen some persons at this venue today. But that's good, Harbourview is playing, and the fans have come out for Harbourview. But yeah, Dunbeholden, they will now join Harbourview on 22 points, but with, I think, 2 goals. Well, probably the same goal difference because they've conceded 2 here. So they'll be on 14 goals. But we'll look at the goal scored column. Yeah,
well, Harbourview are 4 goals better than Dunbeholden as it stands. And that's before Harbourview go into their game this afternoon against Mount Pleasant. So. Oh, my stats were showing me 2, but yeah. The fact is they're level on points, and Harbourview will be forced to win their game nonetheless. And yeah, that's a good thing for Dunbeholden. That's the most they could have done today. And let's see if we'll have nervous people in here when Harbourview takes the field later. Well, they've been trying to bounce back in recent weeks, Harbourview. Yeah. Burkett on it. Dunbeholden just slowing this game right down in the final few seconds of it. And really, they will take more than 3 points out of this game. A bit of confidence. They've had some free-flowing football. And maybe this will cap it off. Williams trying to sneak that one through the middle. And there was a late kick on him. Free kick to Faulkland. And that should be that in short order. Yeah, you're quite right, Donald. At times they have sizzled. They've really played some slick football. And that is that. And Dunbeholden register a win. They concretize 6th spot, which is the final playoff spot. And it was a performance that required some grit. But in the end, Rowan Brown, coming off the bench, sealed the deal, made it comfortable for the team from St. Catherine. And Falkland, well, they've revisited the drawing board on so many occasions, but they have to do so once again, this time with serious contemplation. Stephen Barnett with a couple of goals to his name. A wonderful outing for the striker. That's 3 goals against Falkland this season alone to win this game, as I said. And Dunbeholden with a 4-2 win in the end. Let's take a look at the full-time highlights here. And McGregor winning that one and then supplying a wonderful assist for Stephen Barnett, who made no mistake. Showed real determination to get the ball off. And Barnett with a slick finish into the far corner. Nothing that David Swaby could have done about that one. And that's how they opened the scoring. Seemed like eons ago. Then wonderful interplay. Samuels driving that one across, and it was an own goal by Michael McLeod at the back post. Samuels is the provider of the confusion and chaos inside the box. And McLeod, I reckon that he couldn't quite help himself. And then this effort was charged down and the header dug out well. That was wonderfully done. Nicholson with the header. And look at that save from Damian Hyatt, going down low to dig that one out. And then Falkland getting a goal back through Thomas, Rondell Thomas, his first this season. A powerful finish. Hyatt may be a little bit disappointed that he couldn't keep that one out, but it was powerfully driven, and Thomas was on the score sheet. A substitute made at halftime, 1 of 3, and then what a finish that was. He had a couple bites of the cherry and finally came up with the fruit with the second attempt. Did Stephen Barnett. Nicely done. And he continued to have a good time in the opposition box. Handball there by Brian Burkett, sliding across, trying to stop the cross, landed on the ball with his hand, and then the finish. A good one, Val Armstrong getting his first goal this season, and then another penalty was awarded. He was cut down inside the box. Shaquem Powell. Barnett looking for his hat-trick. He was denied by David Swaby, and he wouldn't get the hat-trick this afternoon. But then, good hustle by Stephen Williams, pulled it back and then made it easy. Did Rohan Brown, opened his account this season with a good finish. And that was 4-2 to Dunbeholden, and it was beyond doubt at that stage. That's all she wrote for this game. Dunbeholden relatively comfortable in the end. As we take a look at the full-time statistics, Dunbeholden with 13 shots, 7 on target. Falkland with 11, 3 on target. 12 fouls committed by Dunbeholden, 3 more than Falkland, who had 3 yellow cards flashed in their faces. 1 more than Dunbeholden, who had 3 corner kicks, the same as Falkland. Dunbeholden with the majority of the possession at 57%.
Samuels, good performance from you today. Is it in the breakfast or is it all that you do on the training ground that has come to play today?
It's more of a training ground, and you know, we're coming off of 2 losses, so I think today we have to come out here and give us the all that we got so that we can come out victorious today. It's just that's something that we have to build upon going forward for the rest of the season.
You're a part of everything bright and beautiful for Dunbeholden today. Those crosses, those delivery, one put in by Falkland, they couldn't deal with it, McLeod. And then you felt Barnett couldn't miss. Is that something you work on day in, day out with those crosses?
Yeah, it's something that I'm doing from I'm very younger, so it's going to come naturally, even though I haven't played right back in a very long time. But find it's in there. Whenever you get the chance to play out there, you're going to give your best.
You seem to have started the game on the left side and then went over to the right. Was that the coach's switch, or was it that you should have started on that right side?
Actually I started on the right, just that I get caught on the left, so I had to cover there for a while, then I came back across to the right.
Because I was about to say that, with those right feet, there was no reason to put you on the left. But good game, good performance from you.
Okay, thank you.
All the best. So there you had it. Or you have it there in Samuels, was really, really good in this game. Absolutely brilliant with their performance, with his performance today. And like I said, it's not often that you see a player that is not scoring any goals and yet coming up as man of the match, and you have a player that has scored 2 goals being edged out. But so good was his performance for Dunbeholden that he came here and copped that. Coach Palmer, difficult game. Again, defensively didn't hold up. We spoke about it in the pre-game interview. How disappointed were you with the defensive display?
I mean, we had some injuries, as I said before, because Joel Powell, who started in the last 2 games since I took over, he had a knee injury, so we had to sit him out. But I thought the players coming in could hold up, but they failed to follow instruction today, because I think I did the homework. And
satisfied are you with what you've seen from your charges in the last week of training?
I mean, the training has been well. They have been training at high intensity. The volume was high as well, so it's high. And although we have some injuries, so we had to do some replacement, but I think the confidence level is high.
It's your second coming, one would say, since the team has been promoted to the Premier League. And you've had decent results, yet to lose since coming back in these 2 games. How difficult, though, is it to keep the team motivated when you look at it that Malines keeps winning and that's the team you're trying to catch?
Well, basically, it's a task that's not difficult, but they have to believe. The players have to believe. And once they have that belief, we should do well. So we have to keep motivating, because motivation is a tool that you use as a driving force.
I suspect you come into this game against a top 6 team. You've kept 3 clean sheets so far this season. 2 have come against first and second place as it stands now. Can your team repeat such a feat against another top 6 team?
Well, basically, we have been working with the defensive principle all week, and the defensive unit somewhat understand pressure cover balance, and they have been very receptive to all the defensive principles. So once we execute and they follow the instruction well, we should do well. We've been working on the attacking principle as well.
I've been so impressed with Enrique Gordon. He plays on the left-hand side in attack for Falkland. 26 years old. They actually found him from out east, representing Seaforth Sports Club, and of course before that the Seaforth High School. Yeah, as I mentioned, 26 years old, 3 goals to his name so far this season, and certainly their leading light this season, Enrique Gordon, and they hope that he comes to the party this afternoon against Dunbeholden. We'll take a quick break here from Jack's Hall. We'll be back with so much more after this. Stay with us.